Welcome back to another video, everyone. In this video, we look to the importance for your final photographs of shooting or catching the light. Morning, everyone. I am down on the main beach here and it's pretty early in the morning, and I know I say to try and be on your location early, especially for sunrise, but I'm a wee bit too early this morning. It's actually still pitch black, but here is what I'm looking at over here. Now this is the pre-dawn glow in here, as you can see, and sorry about the quality of the video here. I'm shooting on 12,800 ISO because it's just so dark. But what I'm thinking, despite it being unusual for me to be shooting towards the sun at sunrise or sunset, I'm going to try and make use of the pre-dawn glow here and try and catch some of that colour in the wet sand that you can see down here. The sea's on the way out. It's been high tide this morning earlier on, and it's on its way out now, so if I can pick up some of that colour in that mirror-like wet sand, this should be quite nice. Now, as you can see, the colour there on the big camera is actually a little bit stronger than the little camera's picking it up. I don't know. That's pretty strong there, but it's still very dark. I've gone and lost my light on the beach this morning already. And it's too dark to find it. I need a light to find it. The light's on the beach. So what I'm trying to do here, you can see here on the right hand side the reflective surfaces down here on the sand, and that's caused obviously by these waves coming in over the retreating sea, causing these lovely reflections. And you can see I'm actually picking up the reflections, where are we? On the sand here of the hills above. It's a relatively boring beach, this, although it's the jewel in the crown for New Zealand. It's just a bit of sand and some sea and a horizon. But the key here today is that colour is king. And without the colour, this would really be boring. So probably the reason I'm down here quite early today is to try and get this in all its colour majesty. But as I say, unusual for me to be pointing towards the sun. I'm just trying to set up here Got a big massive rock that I'll try and balance on and get up high enough to clear all the debris. Now I have put the camera away up on top of this big rock here. You can't really see it, but it's on top of a big rock, and the reason for that is to try and separate the shoreline down here with the island behind. The lower I go with the camera, like down here, we start interfering. You can see that we're starting to interfere the foreground and the background. We don't want that, so it's high up to try and create that separation, and it's actually giving me a better view too of the colour. Now this is the beach. I don't know if you remember or if you saw it. This is the beach that I got kicked off by the two guys playing with their Canon 5Ds and Nikon 810Ds when I was shooting with a little camera here, the M50. And that was the video that size doesn't matter. And the one beauty I think with sunrise photography is you get this place all to yourself. Whereas later on in the day there's lots of people going around vying for position to take the photograph. And as you can see just on the front of me here, there is some colour and some light. So the light is slowly increasing, but it's a real balancing scene here that I can't wait for it to get too bright, because then I've got too much dynamic range. I want to try and keep this dark, get the colours in here, because they're really strong this morning. In post, once I take this photograph, I'm not making the colour up. This is actually really, really strong. But it's probably about 5-10 minutes now, I think, from the proper light. So I'm going to have to try and get framed up here to see what I want to take. And it's going to be a panorama, but I think if I frame up, it's going to determine exactly how many shots, what the focal length needs to be, because remember, that determines my frame. I don't crop in. I try not to. I try and shoot in camera here, so it's a lovely part of the world, this. Lovely part of the world. So this is what I have here. I've just gone through a process of trying to match what my eyes are seeing in terms of light and colour to what the camera is picking up. It was picking up much lighter than this, so I was losing the colour. So this is the intensity of the colour that we've got this morning. And it's in here, look, we can see some beautiful, beautiful colours over here, but I think the blacks are still too black. Because one of the things that I find is that in the real world, there's very few proper blacks. I know silhouettes are black, but it's really cool. Look at this. It's a lovely scene, eh? I was actually wanting clouds in the sky this morning to pick up the colour in about 10-15 minutes, but we are completely devoid of any cloud. Well, there's clouds in the sky over there, but there's not a cloud in the sky above me. And I can't complain and say it's disappointing. Really cool. Look at this colour. This is the first time out with the camera actually for a little while, and every time I come out with the camera I'm actually reminded why I do landscape photography, and I'm here on my own. It's pretty cool, eh? So it's time for me to set up for framing. Not necessarily for composition. I've not gone looking for a composition here, but more for framing. So the way that I do this is I try and determine from left to right what my left is going to be, and I think to the left of frame there, I don't know if I want to, do I want to add the trees in the corner here? I can always shoot wider and then crop back in, eh? And I probably just want to introduce these rocks at the bottom, not for foreground interest, remember, but this is just to try and start picking up some of the light that we're going to get in a little while. And I probably want to take this over to just where the water here, that stuff there, just where the water is becoming dry sand. And as I say, I'm having a problem focusing this morning because it's still so dark. So from the bottom to somewhere in the sky, I'll place this just below the halfway line, this island here. And I've counted the waves here, they're about 20 seconds to come in, and I want to try and grab my exposures as the water's retreating. You see that? Yeah, you can. Hang on. If we're going even more. I'll make this brighter so you can see this here. So I am going to take the left-hand frame just here, as we discussed. This is me shooting at 45mm. So if we look at the 50% here for me, it's just to the right of the island. So if, just for say-so sake, I take that to 50% just there, I'm almost at the water on the right-hand side. So that tells me I have to go just beyond 2 shots as a panel horizontal. So if I go 2 shots as a panel with this sensor here, I've actually got 6 shots to 3, which is 2 to 1. So it'll give me just over that 2 to 1 ratio, which is probably ideal for a panel. So final adjustments, because I think we're almost there. We've got enough light now, and we've also still got colour. So shooting at 800 ISO in the video, what a difference a few minutes make. So final setups now, and see if we can shoot what I've imagined. I didn't do the leveling head before because I couldn't see what I was doing. Okay, this is changing quite quickly now, so I'm going to have to get my wiggle on. Get it level. Wrong way, Ewan. It's been a while. Okay. Now tip it forward, just to get both lines level. And we can just see the seas coming in really nicely here now. So if I go down to I don't really want to have to use a filter today, to be honest. I'd rather not. But I'm going to have to. Actually, I've got a 6 stop in the bag because I'm getting a second, and I want to try and slow that down to incorporate the water movement. So 6 stop. Here's one I prepared earlier. So if I can just check this. It's okay, so I'm actually going to go back to 20 seconds at f13 because that was just a little bit too light. It's okay. 15 seconds because remember the light's increasing all the time. So everything's level. Let me just, I'm going to take the top of the tree into the corner. I can always crop that back out, but I don't like doing that. So photograph 1. 15 seconds this time. Now somebody once asked me that when the sun is equidistant from the viewer at sunrise and sunset times, why are sunrises and sunsets different? And even as a landscape photographer, that one stumped me. And I think the only thing I can think of actually is New Zealand being the first country to see the sun each day. And as the sun comes towards us, everything is sleeping and there's hardly any airborne dust, particles and pollutions and the like. And with sunset, obviously with the sun setting in the west, hang on, just got my 50%. With the sun setting in the west, the sun is reaching us, cutting through a whole lot of pollution and particles and CFCs and airborne dust and stuff, which always makes the colour much more dramatic. And I think at sunrise here, we get a much more gentle kind of light quality here, because there's not the same level of pollution. I don't know if that's right, but it's the only way I could try and explain it actually. I'm going to go, I've taken one at 15 seconds, hand in front of the frame, and I'll take another one at 30 seconds, and that should be me almost done then. I don't tend to mess around when I'm on site. I don't take many photographs, because to me I think discipline is everything. Okay. Let me just get this right. That there is roughly what I'm seeing now. So that's the light meter right. And I'm just going to start off on the right hand side this time. Sometimes we find that if the seagulls stand still for, they're not standing still. If they stand still for long enough, they can be razor sharp when we come to process this. And this should be long enough to soften off that water, I reckon. Quite nice actually. We've got other people down on the beach down here taking in the sunrise also. It's nice. Okay, so let me play that. I actually think that that's still a little bit strong, so let me take me down to f22, because remember, if we underexpose this, I can always lift the shadows. And in underexposing any shot, it allows us to maintain that beautiful colour, because remember here, colour is the key. If I came back later on and took, in fact I might even do that, I might come back when the sun's up, when there's no colour, and take the same photograph and just compare them. So one of the things that I'm trying to watch here too is just the joining of the photographs. There's 3 photographs here side by side. And I need to watch the water movement here, but the tide's I think actually now coming in, and there's a drawback, so that moving water is actually staying pretty stagnant because there's 2 forces fighting it. And I might have to manipulate some of this in post if I'm wrong, which I might be. Now I've just changed lenses on the vlogging camera here, and in my true fashion, this is normally the direction that I would shoot in, and with that sun coming up behind me here, we've got this diffracted light in the opposite direction, and we can see it here, particularly that lovely pink. So this is normally the side that I would shoot at, but I just thought it was interesting to show you this today, completely in the wrong direction from where I'm wanting to shoot today, but this is my normal colour space that I shoot in here. Lovely and gentle, whereas the other side is more dramatic, even still, I think. If I can reduce this for you. It's not too bad though. It's not as strong as it was. It was very strong a little while ago. Now this is my main rig, as you well know, and I've had this thing for years. But I've got a new piece of kit on this today, which I've had for a while. But this is my focus lever. So particularly when you're shooting in darkness like I have been today, it's really handy to know exactly where your focus lever is and where infinity is as well. It's just a ring, a Sunway photo ring. You just snap on and screw onto the lens focus part. Really handy to have. Now this is the first video that I've done out in the landscape for quite some time actually, and it's quite interesting having just come back from having shot that video in Europe about how the video on non-landscape stuff has changed or helped me with my photography. A, it's reinvigorated me, but B, it's probably not changed the way I see things, but it's certainly sped my process up a little bit, because it's reminded me how familiar this is. Now this isn't the moon or the sun, this is sun rays. Let me try and get focus. Here we are. I'm just starting to see the sun coming through now, and we can see the sun glaring on the lens there. The world's an amazing place actually. If we would only take the time to stop, look, see, observe and take in everything that's around us. Which is why for me landscape is so good. So as you can see, we're in direct sunlight now. It's above the horizon, and that always signals the end of a sunrise shoot. And it's been really cool being out here this morning. I was a bit hard on the beach before, saying it was a boring beach, and I guess in some respects all beaches are a little bit boring because there's just a horizon, some sand, some waves, some seagulls. But the opportunity for photograph, that's the main thing. And there's some beautiful colour there this morning. And what I'll do actually is I'll take another photograph just after I've signed off here in proper full light. And what that's going to do is allow me to show you how important colour is for this scene today, for what I was trying to do with the reflections in the sand. Looking at it here, it certainly doesn't look the same now as it did maybe half an hour ago. I am off to the States next week, away off to North Carolina, and I'm going to take my camera, take both cameras actually, and I'll end up doing a video and going on a shoot with a chap from North Carolina, I think. Goodness knows where we'll end up. My life is about to change as I've just started a construction company building high-performance, passive, sustainable homes. And going to be building the show home just in a few months, and that's going to take 12 months to build. So life's going to be busy, but life's supposed to be busy. That's how it's designed, I think. And I'm going to commit obviously to the construction stuff, but I've made a commitment to myself that I'm going to commit to photography and do more of it as well. More videos, more photographs and more workshops. Going to try and do one in Scotland next year as well as one here, and goodness knows where else. So it's been really nice being out here today, back after Europe. Europe hasn't changed the way that I see the landscape, but I think what it's done is actually sped my thought process up. It's sped it up, and that's cool. Although this is a scene that I do know well, and I think sometimes you've got to recalibrate because it's all too easy to take things for granted. So until then, you keep shooting, you have fun, get out of your bed and take a sunrise, and keep taking photographs. Remember, the most important part about taking photographs is taking photographs, something I should learn. So until next time, you take care, and we will see you very soon. Cheerio. Thanks for watching everyone, wherever you are. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Cheerio.